community, which I've been so very excited to experience since I've been here, even though I may hide from time to time. So I'm going to have a few poems. You saved this saddest poet for last. And I hope I can see everybody. Okay, so the first poem I'm going to read is called The Great Dictator, and it's was written after watching part of the Charlie Chaplin movie, in which he isn't wearing floppy shoes, and he's actually kind of powerful. This is called The Great Dictator. These leaders are all brunette, and isn't it strange? If you stop and listen, you can hear a whistling between the teeth, a generic sound of gentle laughter. You can play their white hair with a toothpick and make music. Get yourself together. Are you only the too willing to oblige? Mark 10, mark with a letter B, X if only necessary. This is where I wonder why women never grow whiskers, the kind that are stiff and sprout from the upper lip. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we didn't have persecution? I mean permission. I mean percussion, a clanging of metals, the music of cardinals, little hands clapping. We're surrounded by sterile bodies and food stored in vinegar. Tomorrow night we jump ship and bathe ourselves in salt water until we lose our shape too. This is no time for knitting comfortable socks, no time for matches. All these train cars will take them away. Find your ticket to claim your things. The air is undeniably cool this evening. Cool once meant aloof. Let us say dirndl. Let us slice clouds with knives. Let us tap our pockmarked legs with pencils, or invent a new way of adding up numbers. Numbers once meant numbers, or was it the other way around? Something doesn't quite equate. Sometimes a river is in doubt which way to flow. Where there is no sun, no carpenter ants, no, there is little music to be fond of when you come or go, or come to go, or never return. Okay, here's another poem called Sediments. I live in your ocean now. I am sitting on waves beneath the pockmarked face of a goddess. There's no pain but the salt in my mouth and the waves in my ears like heavy cursing. I am one word, what have you. I am the rock that lets water slide beneath me, tips me upward. I am fragile, darling. In this that is both limited and with possibilities, everything is unforeseeable to him. Thoughts like lives will bubble to the surface, will foam, will become a divorce, will turn to particles, disseminate. If it were sufficient, i.e., long enough to cover the feet, would be too easy, would be like life, would be barred. Hart Crane tried with boat once, tried without boat, then it worked. And others, lives lurking, long necks hunched, hair like threads. This is a poem about biscuits. I think we're all fond of biscuits, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. This is called Comfort Food. 1. We ate biscuits and let the crumbs fall between us onto the sheets in bed. His bed, a mattress on the floor. He said, "My dog is in the closet." "I didn't know you had a dog," I said. It was a statue made of glass, shattered at the torso. We filled the room with cigarette smoke, thicker than goose feathers. It covered the window panes. 2. He never finished remodeling his house. The floors felt like dirt trails. The paint was a peeled orange. I found his letter 2 weeks late, stuck into the roof of my mailbox. "You have red lipstick on," she said, then walked away laughing to herself. I didn't know what else to do in a time of grief, but hide my lips with the color of jam. Okay, sorry I didn't have any funny poems, but you can laugh at me anyway. This is called Poem with the Ocean on Fire. She wears nothing but the loose wedding gown, lets after rain sink Fog sink through the holes of its lace, like two falcons sowing between magnetic fields, their hollow bodies lost in the vastness of mist. He pulled on every organ, pressed his fingers into her thigh, sharp as a Victrola needle. They played a meticulous game of tearing pages from phone books, hundreds of them, heavy as a bungalow, blessed by rain, milky ink, a muddled marriage of black and black. She moved with the tick of the metronome, pinned feathers to the rims of her eyes, let the salty fur of the mink hide all the other empty places of flesh. Okay, so it's kind of like reading from like a journal up here, so I give Joe a lot of credit for reading nonfiction. This is a poem called Housewife, which I'm not. But it was about a dress that I found that was black and blue leather, and it was awesome. But when we went to order it, it was no longer available. So I wrote a poem about it. And it's called Housewife. The dress is black and blue, and I am obsessed with it. I turn the pages of the catalog forward a few, then back, over and over. The rayon dress looks static soft, and I touch the page until the paper is worn white. I own you, I tell the dress. I imagine what it would be like to dance dressed in a bruise, my eyeliner matched to navy, my lipstick a bald pink. Wishing my hair were long enough to braid, I twist pieces around my thumb 100 times, pulling out all the flailing strands piece by piece. All I want is a dangerous reincarnation of the night we covered ourselves with blackberry juice and slipped around the house like dying moths escaping the claw of the cat. Desperate for light, I weakened first, arms widespread on the kitchen floor, one hand reaching for your face, the other sunk into a puddle of your own game. And lastly, a poem called Crisp White, which I wrote kind of in response to a composer's piece, and he was writing about winter his music was about winter, and it was summer, so I wrote a winter poem. But now it's winter, so this is more appropriate. So this is called Crisp White. I put the clothes on the body to prepare the body for winter, for when the world begins to clot and thicken. Trickles then, chatters between bones, nothing to return the echo. I belted out, but nothing brought it back. Whether the mounds that gather together in packs, whether the things that stick us together hover together inside. Outside like bees, like flies, crystals flicker, the frantic then stops. When will we touch to milkweed and hide the flowers in our cheeks? What with the sunburns and the ice on the sunburns, water melts into paper, evaporates into trees, into rivers. I welcome you to this mysterious other. A movement, we say, will happen soon. What binds us to another twine, wrapped around newspapers, stringing lives together like words. We survive by holding each other, by binding our lungs together. We asked each other to wash out there, searched for something among the dead. Who would find me there? Found change in the creases of our clothes, poems in the downs of our cloaks, played rummy for our supper, found gifts for astronauts. You said, we are no longer asleep at night, so we curl up for days. Thank you very much.